Seated. Thank you, Ann. My name is Andrew Chappell. I'm the director of youth ministries here at Dunwoody United Methodist Church, and I said at the first service, I love a church that lets the youth ministry take over worship 2 Sundays in a row. Last Sunday, we confirmed 84 students at this church, and it was an incredible day. Today is always a special day in the life of our church. It is Youth Sunday. It is when we get to hear from a handful of seniors that have been a part of this community, and you get to see what has happened in the process of their being here, in the process of you fulfilling your promises as the body of Christ from their baptisms and from their confirmation. And I'm so proud of this class of seniors. This is the first class that I've been able to walk with from 9th through 12th grade, all 4 years of high school. And I'm really excited to hear from y'all. I'm so proud of you. I want to recognize all our seniors. If you are a senior and you are graduating soon, please stand. We want to recognize you. And keep standing. I would love to recognize our families. If you're a family of a senior as well, will you please stand with your senior? That's awesome. Well, I hope you're excited. I'm very excited to hear from 4 of our seniors this morning, from Lane Hatcher, Elizabeth Gilbert, Margaret Turner, and Heather Holdridge. Let's do it.
Good morning. Have you ever happened to look down on your church bulletin and find the previous week's worship attendance printed and wonder to yourself, wow, were there really 1,000 people in church today? Well, I can confirm, yes, there really are 1,000 people in church today, or at least it definitely seems like it. My name is Lane Hatcher. In a few short weeks, I will be graduating from Norcross High School, and this upcoming fall, I will be attending the University of Georgia. I have been a member of Dunwoody United Methodist Church for almost 19 years now. Yes, this means I have been a member for my entire life. I was baptized by Dr. Stevens, even though I don't remember, it definitely happened. And throughout my life, I have grown up here, and this has become my church home. Notice I use the words church home. If you were to add up all the time that I've spent here at DUMC and all the time that I've spent in my actual house in Norcross, I feel that the times would be eerily similar. This means that here in this church, I know where all the good snacks are, and if we were ever to play a game of hide and seek, I like my chances of winning. Most importantly, in this church, I have learned to love God and love other people. I could stand up here today and talk about the many programs and ministries and missions that I have been a part of. However, I have learned one very important thing throughout my time at DUMC, and that is to love others by putting others in front of yourself. This morning, I would like to take a moment to thank the many people that have impacted my faith journey throughout my time here at DUMC. First and foremost, I would like to thank God for blessing me with this amazing church. I would like to thank Miss Cindy for directing the children's choirs and for sharing her love of music and worship with all the very young people of this church. I would like to thank Mrs. Diane Morgan, Miss Betsy Nall, and other children's ministry staff members for teaching us many Bible stories, how to love God, and for creating a great foundation for our faith. I would like to thank the many Sunday school teachers that I have had over the years. Yes, there have been a lot of you, but I am extremely grateful for sacrificing your Sunday morning worship time and Sunday school time to be with us and help us to develop our faith more. I would like to thank all the youth ministry staff members that have helped me to go along my faith journey through my time in the youth group. Some youth ministries have various changing members and a fairly rotating staff. Some people in their high school years go through as many youth ministers as many key changes as there are in Beyonce's Love on Top. Andrew now owes me $5. However, I have been blessed to have great longevity of youth ministers in this youth group, and I would like to thank Karen and Stephen Street, Mark and Elizabeth Lamback, Alan Whitaker, Michelle Ozier-Wallace, Karen Bass, Montana Hamby, Brittany Sanders, Lane Davis, and Andrew Chappell for their love, life lessons, and leadership. The many great memories that I have made in this youth group would not have been possible without y'all. I would like to thank all the clergy members, past and present, for their leadership and their teachings. Even though I have only known some of y'all for a very short amount of time, y'all have all had the same great impact on me, and I am very grateful for that. I would like to thank the kitchen staff for their many wonderful meals that they have made throughout my many years. Specifically, I would like to thank Carlton. You have the greatest fried chicken in the whole wide world. I would like to thank my family for all their love and support over these many years and for driving me to and from Dunwoody several times each week. Thank you for wanting me to learn more about God and to love God and for setting a great example for me. I'd like to thank the many friends that I have made in this youth group and for sharing a common faith with me through all these years. The memories that I have made would not be possible without y'all, and I will miss you very much next year. Finally, I would like to thank you, the congregation, for all your support and prayers throughout my time here at DUMC. I'd like to ask you to continue to support us with your prayers because, one, I'm going to college and I will need them. And also, I would like you to continue to pray for the upcoming seniors and other members of this youth ministry because we truly appreciate your support and your investment in us. Thank you and God bless.
Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Gilbert, and I am a senior at North Springs High School, and I will be attending Georgia Tech in the fall. When Miss Bass asked me to speak this morning, I could not have been more excited or speechless. I had no idea what to say, what I wanted to say, or how to say it until this past Wednesday night at Midweek Moments. While Jenna was preaching, she asked the rhetorical question saying, "How has this community inspired you?" That really got me thinking about how my experiences at this church have changed and shaped my life. This morning, I would like to share a few of those memories and lessons. So I first came to Dunwoody in the beginning of my second grade year. I was intimidated as I found my way to a spot in the gym to start Sunday school. I distinctly remember one little girl coming up to me and introducing herself. Her name was Lane Hatcher, and to this day, she's my best friend. Fast forward a couple of years to sixth grade and the confirmation retreat at Lake Junaluska. There's this big, beautiful cross that sits on top of the hill and overlooks the lake. At night, it lights up and becomes the most magnificent view. Seeing that cross light up on the final night of the retreat was the first time that I really felt God's presence in my life. A really big part of our church is mission work that we do here. And my parents have always encouraged and supported my participation in mission work like Action Ministries and Stop Hunger Now. But it wasn't until a mission trip to a rural part of North Carolina where I truly saw the difference I was making. One of my job sites, my group worked at the house of a homebound lady who had a very hard time breathing named Miss Betty. She needed gates built around the entrances to her porch for security reasons. Now, let me tell you a little something about our group. We were the group that was assigned to paint houses, not build things. We are not skilled at all. So our chaperones had no idea what to do. So I stepped up and started to take measurements, saying that because the ground was not level and the porch ranged in width, that each gate would have to be built custom to the space it would occupy. The first gate we built was nothing to brag about, but most definitely a success. The next day we went to the job site and I sat and talked to Miss Betty. She told me her story, which was very powerful as she had had very little her whole life and continued to give and help others. As she expressed her gratitude for the gate, it hit me how much of a difference I had made in her life and how she had inspired me. My passion for mission work was not the only thing that I learned at Hinton. I also learned that I should not eat jalapenos. I later learned that just because you've eaten a jalapeno early in the week and survived does not make it a good idea to eat another whole jalapeno. For those of you who don't know me very well, I love music. I play the trumpet in my school concert band, and I was the drum major of my marching band this past year. I'm also in the youth choir and the bell choir here at church. One awesome thing about youth choir is that it is grades 6 through 12, so I'm able to meet all the younger youth who I wouldn't otherwise get to know as well. The coolest thing about youth choir is choir tour during the summer. My first choir tour ever, my parents were brave and they sent me to Canada. Choir tours have also taken me up into the Carolinas, Tennessee, the coast of Florida, ziplining over alligators, whitewater rafting down the Ocoee River, the home of the Buffalo Wing, the largest amusement park in the Midwest, and most recently to New Orleans. Over my years in youth choir, it has been a reoccurring message that we aren't simply going to have fun. We tour to make a change, meet some new faces along the way, and hopefully make a difference. Bell Choir is an entirely different story. It is slightly chaotic, loud, and full of bad puns, but I can honestly say that Bell Choir is one of my favorite things to do each week because of the people in it. I would like to take a second to thank the Bell Choir for being awesome people. Hey guys. Specifically, Brian, Bryce, and Charlie for always making my day with some fun story or interesting fact about a random country no one has ever heard of. I would also like to thank Mark Lambach for conducting both bells and choir, because without him we wouldn't have either. Both of these activities have been a constant throughout my entire high school career, and they have built me up, deepened my love of music, helped me meet and make new friends, and given me a close-knit church family that I will forever be grateful for. Mark has also taught me that sometimes the haiku is the best vehicle for emotions, so here's a haiku. Youth and Bell Choir, Mark Slark and the Funky Bunch, thanks for all you do. The most recent adventure that I have taken on through youth group was teaching a confirmation class with Lane. Mrs. Holliday and Mrs. Laframboise were very kind to allow Lane and I to lead the class, and over the course of this year, I think I learned as much from the girls as I hope they learned from me. I had the privilege of going on the confirmation retreat this year back in February. It was a very powerful experience to see God moving and working in the lives of the sixth graders as they learned about confirmation and what it means to be a part of the church. Last Sunday, they were all confirmed to the church, and I was once again reminded of how awesome our God is. So, how has this community inspired me? Through this church, I have learned to love God. I have deeply rooted my faith through missions and helping others. I have learned that sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone. I have also learned that Carlton makes the best fried chicken, and banana pudding goes fast, so you better get it early. But most importantly, I learned from my leaders how to shine my light into the world. I would like to thank all of those people who have devoted their time to help me get to where I am today, such as my past youth leaders, my parents, and especially Andrew. Thank you so much for all you've done for me. So as I go on to attend Georgia Tech in the fall, I will take my lessons with me while never forgetting that I will always have a church family to come back to. Thank you.
Hello. Good morning. Hello. My name is Margaret Turner, and I am a senior at North Springs, just like Elizabeth, and I will be attending the University of Georgia in the fall. Go Dogs. And I am on the pre-veterinary track. I think that it's crazy that I'm standing up here right now. I remember a few years ago when I think, is it Lindsay Green gave her senior testimony, and I was like, wow, I really want to do that. And now I'm here doing it, and so that's pretty cool. So I would just like to share with everyone some of my favorite memories that I've had over the past 6 years or 7 or however long I've been in this youth group. And I'm going to warn you, some of them are a little weird just because I remember the craziest things, but I'm going to share them with you anyway. So I'll start off with 9 o'clock Sunday school, confirmation Sunday school. It was taught by my parents, and we would do trivia, and we'd be learning everything there is to know about the church. And so my mom would ask us trivia questions, and if we got them right, she would reward us with a McDonald's Happy Meal toy or anything that she had collected, and that was always really exciting. And so when we were trying to learn everything about the church, we made flashcards with all of the pastors' faces on them, and they would show, and then we'd be like, oh, that's Reverend Stevens. And then I remember one time one of us, they showed a picture of Reverend Milton, and one of us is like, the guy, the Reverend dude with the mustache. And so now, and he knows this too, because now, even today, I still call him Reverend Dude with a mustache. And so confirmation was so fun, and then going to Lake Junaluska and giving myself to Jesus Christ was one of the most terrifying but really, really cool things. And I just remember going up and seeing the cross and bawling my eyes out, and not really knowing why, but knowing why it was interesting. So after confirmation, I continued through middle school at 9 o'clock Sunday school, taught by the Lundströms, and that was always a joy to come every Sunday and learn. And then as I continued through high school, I was taught by the Fanchers, and that 9 o'clock Sunday school is very, very special. We're a very different group, and we probably don't even start talking until about 9:30 every morning, just because we like to talk, and we're just like, okay, let's play some games. Or Andrew will be like, let's test out what we're gonna do at 10:30, and I'll be like, yeah. And so we do, and it's a lot of fun. And a lot of times, we do definitely learn and talk about very serious things in Sunday school, but then there's some days where we come in and we just don't really talk about anything, and we just catch up or just to have a bunch of fun, and then somehow Mr. Fancher will always tie it back into a lesson, and it's really cool. One of the cool things that we did, we had a 4-week lesson, and the entire time we compared The Hobbit and the Bible, and that was really cool. And so a few of my favorite trips that we go on every year is Banning Mills, because it's just so beautiful up there, and there are always really cool themes. And one of the most important things that I'm involved in with this church is the youth choir. And we are a very, very special group. I've been involved with the youth choir ever since my 5th grade. So it was a little special. I got to start a year early. But we've gone so many places. We've been to DC twice. I've been to Virginia, Louisiana, Alabama, North and South Carolina, Florida, and I've been to Canada, which is really cool. And I would like to thank Stephen and Karen Street. They were here when I was in 6th and 7th grade, and they were really awesome people. And so I would like to share a few memories about choir tour, and I would like to thank Mark Lambach, or sometimes we call him Big Belly Solar Compactor. Mark has taught us that sometimes haikus are the best way to go in life, and so I would like to share a few from the past choir tours. So we have a talent show every choir tour, and for the past 2 years, the entire trip, Mark and I will collaborate and make haikus, and then at the talent show, we'll say them to everyone. So I have pulled some from that. So the first one is, let's go, Bryce the King. Bryce the King is amazing. All hail Bryce the King. And the second one is, Sugar Packets is a motif for our buddy Charlie. All hail Sugar Packets. And then I wrote one myself, actually probably 20 minutes ago. I love choir tour. We can nail it down, Mark. I will miss you guys. I just want to thank Mark again a lot for always keeping us laughing and smiling and good times, and he always makes sure that our songs shine and sparkle. I would also like to thank the Performing Arts program here, especially Robert Edwards and Emily Decker. I thank them for showing me the life of theater. Theater has been very large in my life, and it all started here when I did the production of Into the Woods. And so as I come to a close, I realize that all of these wonderful memories that I've had here, and I am not actually leaving forever, but just for a short period of time, so I'll be able to come back and create more memories. And I would like to thank God for blessing me with such an amazing church. I would like to thank Alan, Lane, Michelle, the Streets, and everyone, and I would like to thank Miss Bass, and I would like to thank Andrew for everything that he's done for me and for our youth group. And yep, that's it. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Heather Holdridge, and before I begin the last senior reflection of Youth Sunday, the students and I would like to thank the woman who put today together. Mother's Day is fast approaching, and this amazing woman of God is a mother to all of the youth. So will you please join me in thanking Miss Karen Bass? Like I said before, my name is Heather Holdridge, and I'm a senior at Dunwoody High School. The story of my time here at Dunwoody United Methodist is a little different than those you have heard today, but I believe God has molded me from the experience. 2 years ago today, I was exactly where you are today, sitting in a stiff pew listening to a girl from Dunwoody. My father had invited me to go to church with him to some church that I had never heard of. In the past, I had always gone to mega churches like North Point and Perimeter Church. Dunwoody was the smallest church I have ever gone to. In all honesty, I didn't see the appeal. Now, you're probably thinking this girl is really stuck up. I was. I thought I was the wisest person I knew because of the hardships I had been through. I didn't think God was giving me a sign by sending me to church. Oh, how it was wrong. My parents then told me about the family history of Dunwoody United Methodist. This is the church where I was baptized in. As a 2-month-old, I traveled across the country just to be baptized into this church by Wiley. The truth is, I think my mom wanted me to be baptized by a Georgia Bulldog, so apparently during my baptism, I could not stop crying and I had to be taken out of the church. So sorry to those who had to sit through a screaming baby 18 years ago. I didn't mean it. That summer, I decided to transfer to Dunwoody High School and was not going to ignore God's call anymore. Andrew Chappell likes to nag me about the first time we met. He says I brazenly walked up to him and told him to start expecting me at youth. I became a regular at Wednesdays nights and met some of the most Christ-like people around foosball tables and around a mellow mushroom table where our trivia team ## became legendary. There is one friend who stands out. You know who you are, and you made my youth experience. Thank you. Attending a welcoming church regularly nourished my faith in a way that I never expected. An almost evangelical spirit sparked within me, and also a craving for a deep relationship with Christ. Last summer, I worked at Camp All-American and met mentors who showed me how to glorify God through teaching the gospel. This summer, I'm spending 10 weeks at this camp that I never would have joined if I wasn't for this church. High school was the easiest it had ever been, and it was all directly because of here. The senior girls and I began a small group led by Michelle Ozier-Wallace and later by Jenna Kennedy. I never would have experienced such a unique experience anywhere else. Dunwoody United Methodist Church wasn't formed by man, it was formed by God, and you can feel it the second you open yourself up to it. When you enter this church, you are entering a loving and supporting community that has changed the lives of many, including the girl who is standing before you. I now encourage all of you to seek those who need a place like Dunwoody United Methodist in their lives. I guarantee along the way, you will not only learn something about yourselves, but learn something about God. So thank you for sitting through a screaming baby 18 years ago, welcoming her back 16 years later, and listening to her today. I'm truly blessed to call this place home.
Thank you all so much. And good job, Lane, for working Beyonce into it. And now as we enter a time of Holy Communion, I invite you to remain seated as we sing our hymn, Sanctuary.